Welcome to a special edition of HP Unplugged. Today, we kick off an inspiring series celebrating the remarkable women leaders of HPCL, trailblazers who have redefined excellence, broken barriers, and shaped the future of the organization. I am Shimron, Officer, Employee Health, Engagement and Wellness, and it is with great privilege that I introduce to you the distinguished Miss Mandira Basak, Deputy General Manager and Head of Mumbai LPG region. With 26 years of diverse experience across 3 zones and 10 locations, her journey has seamlessly transitioned across business and people-focused roles in aviation, sales, operations and HR. She has led teams in driving innovative initiatives including enhancing sales, ARB sales promotions, PCRA rallies, PDC campaigns, Samavesh programs, IT solutions, CBTs and the Chanakya Niti program. Her ability to inspire and unify employees, families, contract workers and distributors has been the cornerstone of her success. A PhD scholar, devoted mother and a passionate sports person, she exemplifies resilience, dedication and ambition. It is an honor to welcome the extraordinary Miss Mandira Basak. Hello ma'am, welcome to this exclusive interview of HP Unplugged. We are truly honored to have you today here with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
Ma'am, first things first, your journey is in a variety of roles and in a variety of locations including aviation, HR, sales and operations. So we would love to know, in very early in your career, these diverse roles, how did it help you in professional growth?
I joined HPCL about 26 years ago from campus, from Symbiosis. And the very first role that they gave me was aviation. Aviation taught me what is the meaning of discipline in work. Later on, immediately I was in varied sales roles in 3 parts of the country. An LPG sales officer role taught me to be a real professional. Because what is a professional? Somebody who doesn't need to be looked upon, but you carry on your work in the same level of ethics, discipline, etc. So that was taught to me by LPG. See, in LPG, as a LPG sales officer in Kolkata, I would be traveling across the city right up to Bangladesh border, rural, the innermost part of our country. And I would not see any HP person for months, for days, and I would feel I am all alone. Of course, there was another HP person at home, so barring that person, who's my husband, of course I wouldn't see anyone. That taught me, when I came into HR, I always remembered that person on the field who is there in and out in whatever sun and rain, sunshine, be it rain, he or she is there to take care of our company. So as an HR, my requirement would be to empathize with him. Empathy is a word we all learnt as theory, but it for me got validated because of these various roles that I played in these last 26 years, even in operations. And today, as a regional head of LPG in Mumbai, both those roles, as HR, a generalist, as well as an admin person, as well as operations, and my earlier sales profile have helped me to empathize and to bind together all the teams and the varied stakeholders, including, finance people, HR, and that's how I have been able to enrich myself as well as my teams from my experience.
Ma'am, that is such a fulfilling answer to hear. Ma'am, you have played a very integral role in the Chanakya Niti program, right? And we would love to know, how did it help the distributors and what was your role, as well as what was the impact created later for HPCL?
Sure. So Chanakya, as we all know, was a great strategist. And what was his main takeaway from Chanakya is that knowledge is something very important and one should keep on trying. It's a continuous process. You should always be in line with the new trends in your industry, in your society. These words may have come years earlier, decades earlier, centuries earlier, but they are still right for us today. Hence, I envisioned a program where I could bring knowledge, which was a gap which I had seen amongst my dealers and their staff. A gap was seen. Along with that, gamification theory, which we all talk about, and most importantly is teamwork. So bringing these 3 together, I articulated and envisioned and finally conceptualized and executed Chanakya Niti, a multiple level quiz program for the dealers and their entire chain, that is the delivery boy, their staff and their mechanic. And they would just come prepared. There used to be this Kaun Banega Crorepati type of a quiz program, a proper quiz which we have been seeing, and the kind of motivation that they felt from it, the knowledge levels increased. My regional office has been continuously growing in domestic market, as well as we've been able to bring out a lot of ARB initiatives in ARB sales.
Yeah.
All this is a fallout of the increased enhanced engagement levels of the delivery men and the distributors and their entire chain basically.
Ma'am, not just this Chanakya Niti program, you have also led various other important projects as well, starting from its conception to its execution. So, do you have a tip as to how to face challenges as a self-motivated leader?
So I basically believe that the most important qualities for a good leader would be, first is self-belief. You have to have courage of conviction, because anything new you're going to do, there will be people who will be pointing fingers, but you know what the end intention is and you have to go ahead.
Yes.
For me, another very important thing has always been opinions. Contra opinions also are welcome from my team. So I have always let my team members speak their mind, even if it is totally against what I am saying, because I believe for any challenge to be surmounted, it cannot be a single person who is acting on it. We are all working in teams. We are nobody is an individual contributor. So sometimes the junior most link of the chain is going to give you the most valuable input to surmount a particular challenge. So for me, always taking the team together and allowing them to speak their mind, give their opinions, however contra they are, and then finally the decision making would be mine, because it is my risk, it is my decision making, it will always be my decision making. But whenever it is, take everyone along, hear everyone, and then things will fall in place. That is what has been one of the ways. So that's what I believe in.
Ma'am, your career journey has been a very inspiring story that you've told us. But we also know that you have done your PhD while you were with your family, and you were also working during this period of time.
Yes.
So there are a few young professionals, women, who also want the same healthy work-life balance that you could create so seamlessly. What do you want to advise these people, ma'am?
So the PhD story, I'll just take 1 second to tell you that I come from a family of academicians, and my father himself has guided some 13 students in PhD. So for me, there was no dearth of motivation at home from both my parents. And that is what he's always said, that education is not complete unless you have done PhD.
Yeah.
So for them, probably I committed myself, and commitment once I do, I have to finish. So support from them, and then garnering all the support you can get, whether it is your husband, whether it is your in-laws. My in-laws stay with me.
Yes.
So for me, as a working professional, where both of us are having such highly committed and huge, which also we entail a lot of touring, and having twins at home, and where I believe that just getting studies done for my children is just not enough, because I have myself had many co-curricular activities.
Yes.
So I decided to understand what are my strengths. So my strength may not be cooking, so I would not enter the kitchen unless it is really required, honestly. But I know what my strengths are: taking their studies, taking them for various places, and of course for my job.
Yes.
All these 3-4 things coming together, and having a battery of staff, believing in them, letting go, delegating. These are one of few things, and don't try to be a perfectionist everywhere.
Yes.
Let go. Thoda dhul hai, koi farak nahi padta. It's okay. This is how I have lived my life, and I think I have managed decently. Today my kids are 18-year-old, and when I did my PhD, the whole family was proud of it.
Okay.
So yes, I could do it when they were just 4-5. They were, I think, in 3rd or 4th standard. In 2014, I completed my PhD. That was a very proud moment for me, and it was only because of support of everyone, and me also taking them along with me. You have to let go sometimes. You have to ignore some small things. So that is how you can have a healthy work-life balance. And also multitasking is something we are all good at. Naturally, we are wired like that. So that is how I could pull it off, I think.
Ma'am, your work-life balance mantra is going to be really helpful to all the people watching this. We know a very interesting fact about you, which is you have for a long time worked with the all-women team. So we would love to know what are some unique dynamics you have in a professional relationship and while working in a team environment with an all-women team.
current profile, last 4 years has been an all-women team experience. It's a different experience, let me tell you, because I have had girls, women who are from all walks of life, all stages of life, I would say. Somebody is a spinster, somebody is getting married, somebody just got a baby, and somebody is having young children. Someone is tending to senior citizens at home. And you know, we don't have a wife at home. So there's a huge difference. It might sound very cliche, but it is important to understand. So we all have these, we come to office with these bags of responsibilities, and we are there for each other. Just that people keep saying women are their worst enemies, and I really feel sad when people say that, because if we decide that we need to be together, we can nourish each other and flourish. It is doable. So that is what me and my teammates have been there. Anyone is having any issues, we will chip in. It is never ye tera kaam, ye mera kaam. We have been doing it together. And me personally, being a little informal kind of a person, my cabin is a place for everyone to sit when it's only our team here and no other persons are around. We would be working, but that work would never feel work, because it's more of an extended family, extended friendship. We've celebrated birthdays, though it's okay, but we've celebrated bachelor parties, somebody's baby shower, gone to marriages for each other, been there to hospitals for each other. So it's a big family kind of atmosphere. But I would like to tell you one thing. All this is fine, but as ladies, see, I'll just take 1 minute on this, because I feel it's very important to understand as women. I have twins, a daughter and a son. When in the childhood, my daughter would come home fighting with her friends. She would just be sitting in a corner and she will not talk to them for 3-4 days. My son would also come back fighting, but he'll physically hit somebody, do something, come back, next day he's friends again. We are still wired like that. Women are wired like this. Even today, man mutav hoga, wo mujhe aise kyun boli? Why did she say that? We will sit on it. And the guys, they will go out for a peg, probably use some good language to each other, and they forget about it. And that stress that we take on ourselves, because we don't let go, we let our emotions be there with us, we carry our emotions with us to our professions. That is where we get more stressed out, because we are more emotional as beings. So I just feel, even for myself, for me it's been a learning process, that we need to take one step outside from our emotions and deal with everything professionally. It's very difficult, mind you, because we are all in this team, all are emotional beings. So I think working in diverse teams is easier, to be honest, because there will be some guys who would be just professionally, and then baki they don't bother, but we are not like that. So to each girl out there, we need to take one step back from our emotional self and treat the whole thing as professional. It's very difficult, but that is one thing I learned, and I learned how to handle ladies. How to get handled myself also is something I need to tell the work. Hey, boss, this is not how it's going to work with me. So that is why amazing experience I have had, amazing friendships. They are all become my extended family. And that's how these 4 years have been for me as leading a women's team.
It's so true, ma'am. Women supporting women in the workplace is the most beautiful thing, I think.
Yes.
Ma'am, you are a passionate sports person, and we would love to know what all you've done in the sports domain, as well as any other interests that you're pursuing right now.
Sure. Right from my school days, I have been a sportsman. I have been representing Maharashtra. I am a national level table tennis player. Fortunately, I carried it along with me even till today. So as far as HPCL is concerned, during my professional life, I have been a part of the Petroleum Sports Promotion Board PSPB TT tournaments, and got to rub shoulders with play against Manika Batra, who is an Olympian today, who's a big name in the game of TT. And also within our inter-unit, I have been a winner always, so I am very proudly say that. So I always get 15 marks for whichever unit I am playing for. Apart from table tennis, I love to play all sports in the colony. We are blessed to have a lovely place. Our corporation has always been supporting us with all this. So I enjoy my cricket, I enjoy these outdoor athletics team event which took place. I do play shot put, I win in shot put in my category as well. I do javelin, I can't do running, but otherwise my latest love is pickleball. So I've begun to play pickleball. Apart from sports, I am a trained Bharatanatyam dancer.
Wow.
I have a BA degree in Bharatanatyam as in performing arts, with Bharatanatyam as a special subject. The last time I had composed a dance was during COVID on a beautiful Marathi song. And I also try to pen poetry at times. I love to do my solo trip. I have done a US solo trip for 21 days. HPCL has been very supportive. I have realized that when you are giving your best, the world gives you the best as what you deserve. So I have been doing a lot of things other than, and of course, chit-chatting with friends is something I love to do. So that's how I'm able to, and I've been able to take out time for all this.
Ma'am, all I heard is poetry. Can you please recite a poem for us, all our viewers?
Surely. I had written something on women, independent women. I'll just recite that.
Yes, ma'am.
When I see the Indian women of today, all set to break the shackles, ready to face the hassles, simple and qualified, assured and equipped, confident of changing the society, when I see a heart full of empathy, poised to take on the world, set to emulate the eagle, I often wonder, what is it then that keep her chained, confined to a small cage? Often I meet these young bubbly girls on the threshold of their careers, meeting their prince of charms of their dreams, getting themselves chained, supposedly for a life full of bliss, truly believing that she will be allowed to take her flight with the strength of her partner under the wings. But alas, she is broken, her dreams broken, she is shaken, her wings clipped, her flight aborted. The same age-old expectations from one and all, the unchanged, unanswered questions. So much touring, why? So late in office, why? Household chores, who? Tending to the family, who? And all this even before entering the phase of motherhood. The need to comply with symbolism, the need to be an ideal, the need to conform, this constant need to appeal and plead for what is rightfully hers, for which she has strived for which she has toiled for, after rubbing shoulders with one and all. Fulfilling this need is taking a toll, giving her an emotional jolt, not knowing where to look, not knowing whom to seek, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to balance her career and her abode, wanting badly to do both, to prove to herself, to prove to the world that she can and she will do both. How I wish to see the Indian woman of today break the shackles, face the hassles, take her flight and fly higher than the eagle, her chain endless, her cage the world, and be rest assured that her dwelling will always await her homecoming.
Ma'am, that was so beautifully written and recited. I think since we are doing this exclusive edition of HP Unplugged, which is themed all around women's special, I think this is the correct message, the right exact message we are trying to give to our viewers.
Glad you liked it.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, since we are coming to the end of the interview, we'll like to switch things up a little bit, and we would love to know a very fun question from you, which is, what is one crazy random thing you have done at work which makes you laugh even today?
Okay, so I recall this when I was in Kolkata. I was a sales officer, and there was this issue that was at hand, that we used to feel there is something called filling of OMC cylinders. So IOCL is filling HPCL cylinders. So now that used to be really our market share we will lose and stuff like that. So it was a very serious problem at hand, and I had taken it to my heart. What should I do? What should I do? Those were the days when we didn't have smartphones. We used to have normal phones, mobile phones, but normal, without any camera. And then we used to carry a camera. I remember having chased one IOCL truck all the way for about like 5 kilometers. Then when it stopped at a place, the driver did not know this. I took all the risk. I climbed onto the truck so that I can take a photograph of the cylinders, of whether they are HPCL cylinders with IOCL seals, just to check that. And I did it not once but twice, again somewhere else, another truck. And now I'm like, what nonsense was I doing? And it really makes me laugh today about all the things we've done, but it's basically passion word for your work.
Adventure.
Now it might seem funny, but yes, that time I did all this stuff.
Ma'am, that was so fun to learn about. Thank you so much for coming to HP Unplugged for this exclusive interview. And we know you're busy. Thank you so much for taking out your valuable time and coming here.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.
As we conclude this inspiring conversation, we extend our sincere gratitude to Ms. Mandira Basak for sharing her incredible journey, insights, and experiences with us. Her story of perseverance, leadership, and continuous learning is truly motivating for all aspiring professionals. Thank you for joining us on this episode of HP Unplugged. Stay tuned for more conversations with the phenomenal women shaping HPCL's future. Until next time, take care and keep striving for excellence.